Hello and welcome. My name is Darnell Self. I'm one of the many millionaire club members here with Legal Shield. And today I have the honor to share with you the same information that was shared with my wife and I years ago when we first took a look at this amazing opportunity, Legal Shield. I'll give you a quick 30-second background on myself. Born and raised here in Maryland, about 15 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. My parents taught me, which most parents teach, to go to school, get the good grades, get out and get a good job. And I did those things, graduated with my degree in PR, public relations. But my challenge was I worked at a retail store all the way through college. And so my experience working at the mall actually outweighed my college degree. You see, I was offered about $40,000 a year to work at this retail store, this men's and women's clothing store. But in all the interviews I went on with my college degree, I was offered $24,000 a year. And so as you can imagine, I couldn't afford to take a pay cut. And so I just continued to work at the mall 60, 70, even 80 hours a week as a manager. And when people called in sick, I had to go in. The weekends were the most important times in retail, so I missed everything that happened in my personal life on the weekends, my kids' sporting events and birthday parties, family reunions, you name it. If it happened on the weekend, I missed it. And so I said, no way am I going to do this for the rest of my life. And so at 25 years old, I stepped out to become an entrepreneur. And I struggled in that space for about 3.5 years. I called it my season of preparation. But at 28 years old, a friend of mine introduced me to Legal Shield. And I just thought the product, the service was so phenomenal. I couldn't believe something like this existed. And then on top of that, they said if I let other people know it existed and they took advantage of it, I could get paid and make a career out of it. And so that's my story. At 28 years old, I started to build my own independent Legal Shield business right here in my home office in Maryland. And now we run a business that stretches all across North America. My wife and I have been job-free since we're in our 20s, and we now give away more in missions and ministries that we support, more than we used to make in years combined at our jobs. And so now we let other people know about this great news. And today, our job is to share with you a little bit about this great company, Legal Shield, that provides personal growth, a professional opportunity, and a powerful journey. So the best business models of today are simple, they're disruptive, they're noble, they're not easily duplicated, and they typically have an app associated with them. Let's look at some examples. This is called a taxi cab, right? And years from now, people will actually have to describe what this is. Why? There's a company called Uber and also a company called Lyft that's provided disruptive innovation. It's simpler, it's easier, it's more affordable. You see, typically when I fly and I get off of an airplane, and into that airport, into a taxi cab, and to my destination, I really have to guess how much it's going to cost me to go from the airport to my destination with the taxi cab. But with Uber, I know exactly how much it's going to cost me before I even get into the automobile. With the taxi cab, there was already a fee up on the meter before they even took off. But things have changed now with Uber, right? We can all agree that it's simpler, it's easier, and it's more affordable. It's the same thing with Blockbuster Video. You know, a long time ago, you actually had to go to a retail establishment, a brick and mortar location to rent a video. Now with Netflix, this disruptive innovation has provided opportunities for us to watch as many videos as we want for one monthly fee. It's simpler, it's easier, it's more affordable. I can say the same thing with Airbnb and how it's done that through the hotel industry. And of course, Amazon, what that's doing to shut down companies that have been around for a long time, like Sports Authority or Borders Books, right? So times have changed. The same thing with the film industry, how, you know, a long time ago, we actually used to go develop film. Well, now you can post a video on a platform like Instagram, and in seconds, the world can see your images. Well, we've done the same thing with one of the oldest professions called the legal profession. Most say it's expensive, it's unresponsive, it's unaccountable, but we provided a disruptive innovation. It's made it simpler, easier, and more affordable. And I know most people have never thought about access to the justice system that way. Not at $300 an hour for a lawyer, it's been a country club most people have never had a membership to. Not at $300 an hour, most people have been priced out of the justice system, just like myself. And it was so exciting to see that for the first time, a company was providing legal access through Legal Shield. That's right, leveling the legal playing field for the first time in North America. Let's talk quickly about how this all started, and then I'll bring you up to speed on how our mobile app is changing the way people live their lives and do business today. You see, our company was established in 1972. We now protect approximately 4.6 million lives across the U.S. and Canada, and we have a dedicated network of quality law firms in all 50 states and 4 provinces of Canada. And we have a lot of third-party validation, which is huge. Because again, in my 20s, when I started Legal Shield, I didn't want people to buy my word. I didn't have a lot of credibility, right? But people could buy the message instead of the messenger. You see, we've been in Forbes and CNBC and Bloomberg. We have an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau out of the central Oklahoma area, which is where our home office is. See, our company started with the gentleman, Mr. Harlan C. Stonesife, who was in a car accident, as you see pictured here in this image. And he had automobile insurance to take care of that banged up car and health insurance to take care of his hospital stay, but nothing to take care of the legal bills that were a result of that accident. He wondered if anything like that existed. It did not at that time. So he started Legal Shield. And now again, we provide equal access to the justice system. You see, our vision is to provide equal access to the liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves and should expect. Now, when I first took a look at Legal Shield, I'm thinking to myself, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't break the law. I don't really need a legal plan. But I quickly realized that bad things happen to good people too, right? Good people treated unfairly, taken advantage of, overcharged for repairs. They sign contracts and documents and later on wish they wouldn't have signed it. They need a last will and testament done. They've had a real estate transaction. These are all things that happen to good people too. And so now we download an app. This is the most phenomenal thing. Right? We have an opportunity to download an app to our phone. Perhaps someone's already sent you the link where you can download this to your Android device or your Apple device at no cost. And the first 2 things you see on this app are free. That's right. It's called a freemium version. It's free legal form. So instead of letting a friend just borrow money, you can actually download a promissory note and they can sign off. You can sign off. And now you have a legal binding document at no cost. There are companies that charge for that. And that's free with Legal Shield. We also have our Ask Aaron, your legal assistant. We have over 1,000 most commonly asked questions where you just type in what your question is and you'll get a response right away. Now, if we don't have that as a part of our database, no worries. As that question becomes a commonly asked question, then it'll become a part of our database at no cost. Now, somebody's going to say, well, listen, I'd like to actually talk to my lawyer. Well, great. When you press that button, it's going to ask that you join our community, become a premium member. And the person that asks you to download that app, by sending you that link, they'll get credit for it. And we'll talk about that a little later. So 1, you'll get personal legal advice on an unlimited number of issues. You're able to pick up the phone and say, look, I just need help. It happened to me, right? I had a situation in my truck and the dealership didn't do what I thought they should do. And so I called Legal Shield. And Legal Shield said, based on where you bought the truck and that make and model and the issue that you're having, if they keep your truck for 3 more days on the same issue, it actually falls under the lemon law and they've got to give you a brand new truck that day. Look, I would have never known that. It wouldn't have called a lawyer to find out if I didn't have Legal Shield. Here's my point. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. They also write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. You know, a lawyer writing a letter means a lot more than you and I writing that same letter. I had a creditor harassing me over $92, which I didn't owe, but I had to go back and forth on the phone with them. Instead of spending my time there, because time is money, I simply called Legal Shield. They wrote a letter to that company on my behalf. It says you must cease and desist or contact with our client pursuant to the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. Sounds good, right? But I wouldn't have known to write that, but the lawyers did. And guess what? I never heard from that company again. But it's the power of a lawyer writing that letter versus Darnell arguing back and forth with that representative on the phone. Contracts and documents reviewed up to 15 pages. This is huge because a lot of times they say the bold print giveth, but the fine print taketh away. This saved me $10,500 on a homeowners association situation because I didn't understand the fine print, but my lawyers did. That's a lot of savings, all because I have access now to lawyers that I would have never called before if I didn't have Legal Shield. IRS audit assistance, civil trial defense for pretrial and trial hours, family domestic services. This was a 90-day waiting period for uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, and name change. And so we're not just talking about lawyers, we're talking about law firms. And that's what differentiates us. You see, I have friends that are lawyers. They even have Legal Shield because not every lawyer knows every area of law, like every doctor doesn't know every area of medicine. So it makes sense to have a lawyer that has experience in the area of law in which you have a need. You also see there, it says SNAP, speeding tickets. That's right. You can tap, SNAP, and send your moving traffic violation over to your law firm. They'll call you back within 8 business hours to consult you to help you to keep the points off your license. Listen, we all know that auto insurance can be expensive. I added my son to my auto insurance policy, and of course it went up. I added my second son and went up again. I have 4 kids. Now they all drive. You can imagine what my auto insurance coverage cost me. But we're all covered with Legal Shield here. And when my oldest son got a speeding ticket, guess what? The lawyers helped us to keep the points off his license so our insurance didn't go up, and we're very thankful for that. Even when I got a speeding ticket outside of my own area, I had assistance with that. Now, you also have an opportunity to tap, answer questions, and complete your last will and testament. I'm almost embarrassed to say when I started with Legal Shield, I was married with 2 kids. We have 4 now, and I didn't have a last will and testament. You know, I was young. I felt invincible in my 20s, but death doesn't have an age attached to it. And if you don't have a will, I'm sure your state or province will have one for you. And so we'll actually help you to prepare documents for estate planning, a prenuptial agreement, uncontested divorce, personal bankruptcy, all with the push of a button. I know most people don't get their last will and testament done because, well, quite frankly, it costs a lot of money. The Legal Shield gives you one just to try out our service. So if you've downloaded this app already, start preparing that. You'll be excited that you did, and we'll update it each year, no additional cost. We also have a red button at the bottom, 24-hour access, 7 days a week in emergency situations. If you're being questioned, detained, or arrested, this is powerful. This is peace of mind for my wife and I. One of our sons is in college, and he's a great kid. But he could be a great kid at the right party with the wrong crowd at the wrong time. And he doesn't have a right to call dad or mom, but he has a right to remain silent and a right to a lawyer. And this gives us an extreme amount of peace of mind I can't put a price tag on. And if you're a parent listening in, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We also help you out with contingency cases. So if you're a victim of an auto accident, etc., you have access to your provider law firm. You can talk to them about representing you on this contingency basis, which simply means you don't have to pay the hourly rates. We have a preferred member discount, 25%. That means after today, once you take advantage of our Legal Shield membership, you'll never have to pay 100% for your attorney fees again. At minimum, you get a discount for things like DUI, bankruptcy, contested adoption, contested divorce. And if you're like me, I love to save money. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. And so I adore getting a discount on my legal services. Now, to really top all of this off, I love having an opportunity to press my member perks button because we have over 400 vendors that give us discounts on things I already spent my money on, right? Best Buy, or perhaps going to the gym, renewing my gym membership, or going to the movies with my family. I went to the movies with my family. We saved about $8 per ticket. I love that. Listen, I save more money every month with my member perks discounts than I actually spend on my legal plan. So it's better for me to have Legal Shield because I save more money than if I didn't have Legal Shield and spending 100% or full price on these vendors where I typically would not get a discount, but I do through my member perks program. So get excited about that and make sure you use it, and you'll see how much savings you'll have on an annual basis. Who's covered? The member's spouse, or domestic partner. Never very dependent children under the age of 26 living at home, or a full-time student. Dependent children under the age of 18 from whom the member's a legal guardian. And physically and mentally disabled children living at home, all under this one membership. So here's your choice. Which would you choose? A lawyer charging $250 an hour, or an entire law firm, or I should say law firms across North America, by joining Legal Shield for about $1 a day? Now look, I've been
Every year, millions of people face legal and identity theft issues. You can take control of your legal rights and identity with Legal Shield and ID Shield. As a Legal Shield member, you'll have direct access to a dedicated law firm, so you can take proactive steps to protect your legal rights. such as having your rental agreement reviewed, your will prepared, and receiving legal guidance for things like a dispute with a neighbor or creditor. Your law firm can also write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf, and is even available 24/7 for emergency situations. And with the Legal Shield mobile app, you can quickly call your law firm, access legal forms, upload your speeding ticket for review, and have your will prepared. With ID Shield, your personal information will be monitored across the internet, including black market websites and government databases. We provide child, credit, and social media monitoring too. If any discrepancies with your identity are found, you'll receive an alert. You can use the ID Shield mobile app to track your alerts and your credit score. If your identity's been stolen, a dedicated team of licensed private investigators are there at the touch of a button 24/7 to restore your identity. Get the legal and identity theft protection you need and deserve with Legal Shield and ID Shield.
These people are living the dream from the enviable comfort of their designated work areas. But if something unfortunate were to occur and they didn't have a will, do you know what would happen?
What?
Well, deciding what would happen to their bank accounts, their real estate, their little tiny bobblehead thingy collections, it would all be distributed according to the laws of their state or province.
What? Are you kidding me?
What's happening now?
That's unfair.
No, it's extremely unfair. Your assets at the mercy of some cold, unfeeling statutory formula?
That sounds horrible.
It is. That's why will preparation is of the utmost importance. And it's easy, because will preparation by a lawyer is part of your Legal Shield membership. The Prepare Your Will questionnaire in the mobile app will help you figure out what's important to you.
I figure no need to spend money on a will. I'll just write it down, stick it in the fire safe.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Because kids always agree on everything. Plus, like I said, it's included in the monthly membership.
Right now, it's just me and the cats. I need to be clear. What should happen if I'm not able to make my own healthcare decisions?
Well, that could be covered by a living will and a healthcare power of attorney. And the will would take care of the cats. Can I get a pull?
Took care of my will years ago, but I probably need to get it updated again. My folk vinyl collection cannot end up in the wrong hands.
Well, Legal Shield can review and update your will yearly if you like.
Really?
What would happen to my Instagram and all my followers?
Start with the Prepare Your Will questionnaire in the Legal Shield mobile app. Your information will be sent directly to a lawyer to prepare your will. Simple. And you won't have to leave what's most important to you in the hands of bureaucrats.
Okay, now this is a picture from my web portal of my back office for Legal Shield. You can see over here it gives my law firm their number, where they're located at, my ID Shield membership information. But also you can click here to download the will questionnaire, or go to resources and come down to member forms, if I remember right. Yep, and here's the will questionnaires. We got them for English, Spanish, and Canadian. So that's how you can access it one way, and you can print those and mail those in. The other I'm fixing to show you. From my mobile phone, I will click the Legal Shield app, go to Easy to Complete Will and Other Questionnaires, click Estate Planning, and then you basically just go through and fill out your personal information right here, and then click back, click Spouse or Significant Other, and fill out their information, dependent information, and then asset information, and then end of life request. And then once you got everything filled out and everything's correct, click submit to provider, and it will submit it to the law firm that is for your Legal Shield membership, and you'll be able to basically hear back within 7 to 14 days about your will. Usually they'll get back to you in 48 hours to ask you questions that need to be asked for your will. With the will, you can get a trust set up, get living power of attorney, a healthcare directive, living will, your actual will. These things can be very important. So it's very important to do. I got my will done, and it was very easy, very straightforward. I had questions basically once my will was sent to me as to how to get it signed and stuff, and I called them and they answered it, and it cost me nothing. I also had a trust set up with mine that basically my assets would be sold and the money put into the trust for my niece and nephew, as I have no kids. So this is how this is done. I'm going to take the screen share off, keep the video on, and give you a chance to basically type questions in the comment section if you want and ask questions. If I don't see anything coming in, then basically we'll end the live within a few minutes.